In this video, we are going over how to put the loan amortization scheduler. As an example, we are gonna look at the home loan amortization scheduler. To put together the loan amortization scheduler, I need to know the sales price of the house, the down payment amount, the loan amount, interest rate, and the term of the loan. How soon my loan is going to be paid out. Let's assume that the sales price of the house is $500,000 and we're going to put down 20%. Let's calculate the down payment dollar amount. To calculate the down payment dollar amount, all I need to do is to multiply the home price by down payment percentage. 100,000 is going to be put as down payment. The rest is going to go the loan amount. We're going to borrow it from the bank. And to calculate the loan amount, you need to take the home price and subtract the down payment amount. My interest rate is 8% annually. And the loan is going to be paid out in 30 years. Term of the loan is 30 years. Let's calculate the monthly payment. There is a special formula in Excel that lets you calculate the monthly payment. This is a formula syntaxis. It's PMT as abbreviation, and then you have several arguments to input for formula to work. Let's start working on this formula. I'm putting the PMT for payment. My first argument is the rate, interest rate, but it's supposed to be monthly interest rate because I'm calculating the monthly payment. I know the interest rate is 8% annual. To have it monthly, I need to take the annual rate and divide it by 12. This is my first argument. My second argument is the total number of payments for the loan. I know that my loan is going to be paid out in 30 years, but I need to know the number of monthly payment is going to be done within these 30 years. To calculate this number, I am taking my term of the loan, 30 years, and multiply by 12 number of months in a year. This is my second argument. Both of these arguments are required. The third argument is present value of the total amount of that series of future payment is worth now, and it's basically my loan amount. So I'm gonna be putting the loan amount, the cell, I'm referring to the cell where the loan amount is my third argument, and this argument is also required. The next two arguments are optional. The fourth argument is the future value of the loan, and it means how much it's gonna be left out after all the payments are made. I'm gonna be paying out the loan in full, so my ending balance, future value of the loan is 0. I can put the 0 or I can omit this argument, and by default, if you omit this argument, the Excel take it as a 0 balance at the end of their terms of the loan. The last argument is also optional, and it's type of the payment, and it's basically based on when the loan is paid, at the beginning of the month or any other date. If you omit this argument, it's assume the beginning of the month, which is right for the home loan payments. So we can omit last two arguments and just close the parentheses and get the result of our formula, which our monthly payment. If you notice, by default, this formula give you the negative value. It means that you paying out this loan amount to the bank. Not to have too many reds in my amortization scheduler, I can easily convert this negative value into positive, but just adding the negative sign in front of the formula. You notice the value became positive. So all I did, I add the negative sign right here in front of the formula. Now we can put the rest of their amortization table together. Let's start with the month 1. The period in the first column is an order of the months. So this is month 1, month 2, and I can have the months 3, 4, and 5 as well. I'm gonna just populate 5 months payment as an example of the amortization table. My beginning balance is my loan amount, and it just reference to the loan amount. And my payment can just reference to the monthly payment. I can do the reference to the cells, or I can use the names of their cells and references to use in my amortization schedulers. To use the names, I need to name the variables I'm going to be using in my formulas. I'm going to be using the payment, monthly payment, I'm going to be using the interest rate, and I'm going to be using the term. So and I'm going to be using the loan amount. So that's the cells I'm going to be naming to use in my amortization table formulas. And to name the range of the cell, you need to select the range of the cell, right click, and go to the define names. And Excel will give you some name suggestions. If you this is something that you can use, you can accept it, and it's going to be my name for the loan amount. And for interest rate, I'm going to also define the name, and it's going to be interest rate, which is work for me. I'm accepting this name. And for term, I'm also going to be naming this cell, and it's going to be term year, which is fine. And the monthly payment also going to be named like a monthly payment. So I named my main cells. Now I can have the meaningful names in my formulas in my amortization table. So now, instead of just reference to the B1, I'm going to be calling this cell by the name. I'm going to be start typing monthly payment. And I can see my name here. That's what I'm going to be using for my monthly payment. Let's do principal. It's the amount you pay every month as a part of your loan. This is the amount you're reducing your loan amount by monthly. There's a special formula for principal in Excel as well, and their abbreviation for the formula is PPMT, principal payment. And there are several arguments here as well. First is the same as in payment rate, but it's a monthly rate. So the same way as we did before, we're gonna put the interest rate. And if you see, since I named this cell already, if I click on this cell, it's giving me the name of the cell, not the reference. And that's what I want to use. So interest rate divided by 12. My next argument in this formula is the period. It's a number of months I'm making a payment right now. So I'm making their payment in the month 1. So my period is 1. I'm going to be reference to their period cell in this as this argument for this cell, and then I'm going to be using the next argument is my present value, which is loan amount, the same is I've skipped one argument, I'm sorry. Then it's my net period, it's total number of payments for the loan, and it's term in years times 12. Then my next argument is the present value of the loan, which is loan amount. And again, since I named this cell, it's called as a loan amount, not a reference in my formula. And the next two arguments are the same as a payment, and they're optional, and we're gonna omit them. Note that the principal as well is calculated as a negative value in Excel. And not to have the reds in my amortization scheduler, I'm also going to put the negative sign in front of the formula. And it's going to give me the principal as a positive value. And as you see, I'm paying only $268 out of my loan in the month 1. The rest is going to be interest I'm going to be paying to the bank. Let's calculate the interest. There is this formula in Excel to calculate the interest as well. And the abbreviation is IPMT, interest payment. It has exactly the same arguments as the principal. So first is a rate per month, which is annual rate divided by 12. Next is my period, when I'm making my payment at. It's a first period. I'm reference to the cell A17. Then it's my number of periods, number of payments I'm making, and it's term per year, year in years times 12. My next argument is the present value of the loan, which is loan amount. And I'm meeting last two optional arguments. And again, the Excel gives this formula as a negative value because you're paying out the interest to the bank. I want to have it as a positive value, and I'm going to put the negative sign right in front of their formula. And my ending balance would be the beginning balance reduced by principal. So beginning balance minus principal is my ending balance. And my beginning balance for the month 2 is my ending balance for the month 1. And now I am ready to copy these formulas to month 2. I can just select the payment, principal, interest, and ending balance and just copy one row down. Now I actually, since I have the formula for the beginning and the balance right here, I can copy the whole row of the beginning balance, payment, principal, interest, and ending balance formulas all the way to month 5. This is how many months I will do, for example, but when you're doing their amortization table, you need to populate it for all their monthly payment you're going to be making, meaning if it's a 30-year term, 30 year times 12, that's how many months you need to populate the table for. And your ending balance, the ending balance of the last month should be 0. So after you're making all the payments in all the 30 years, your ending balance should be 0. That's the good checkpoint for you to know if your amortization table is put together correctly and is working correctly. Pay attention if you're going to be using the payment, principal, and interest formulas without their negative sign in front, meaning they're going to be negative value. Make sure you calculate the ending balance correctly. you're not going to be reducing the beginning balance by principal since it's already negative. You can just add these two together to have the ending balance. So you make sure that your ending balance is always lower than your beginning balance for each month. That's how you do the amortization scheduler.